Boy JStar back again with another video for you for this fantasy, season for NFL, baby, coming in or super early. I know we like a month out, but just thought I'd get right into this one about wide receivers and what I like to look for. What are the three things I look for to pick wide receivers to win every weekend? You know what I mean? Like at least be in the green. You know what I'm saying? Like we trying to win some money, y'all. But first things first, it's gotta be the attempts. The targets that they get. My bad, not attempts because they're not a running back, but the actual targets that they receive. So we go to Davante Adams. He's gonna set. We already know he's gonna set the bar for us because targets was crazy. 11, 7, 14, 13, 7, 13, 9, 8, 11, 14, 7, 5, 16, 11, 18. Look at these first three games, man. This is crazy, y'all. 206 yards, 132 yards, like basically 400 yards in the first three games. 34 points, only 12 in the second game, but 40 points again the next game. This is crazy, y'all. Like crazy fantasy points. Like you needed him week 1 and week 3 for sure. Like you wasn't winning a slate without 34 and 40 points in your slate to win it. So, but like I said, the main thing you're looking for is these are targets, man. These targets that they're getting. The second thing after we see that, like, so basically right there, I'm since he's setting the bar at about like 9, I'm looking at 9, 8 targets getting 115 yards. I'm looking for receivers that are getting 8 plus targets then, because 8 plus targets gets you to 100 yards, which at 100 yards you're gonna get the bonus of 3 extra points from the 10 points you already gonna have for the 100 yards. So you're talking about 13 points, and then all you looking at is like 8 targets. He catches 7 of them. You got 20 points fantasy already without a touchdown. I don't even need to care about the touchdown part if you're gonna get this. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. You already got the 20 points. You get the touchdown. That's icing on the cake. Then you're talking about 26 points right there, fantasy already. So, like I said, he sets the bar for all the receivers. After that, you looking at Jefferson. He's gonna have the same type of stats. I think like 7, 11, 12, 10, 15 targets. Crazy amount of targets right there. 14, 9, 10. It's always almost over 8, almost all the time. So great receiver right there to pick. But then number 2, the thing I like to look for. With receivers is a little different. Of course, we got the offensive scheme thing like we did, like I said, for every quarterback, running back. That's my thing, offensive scheme. But with receivers, I like to know now since the defense has changed and it makes it harder for actual wide out receivers to perform well. Like if you're just a wide out receiver and you stay out wide, a lot of teams double team receivers now. So if you're not elite speed, like a Tyreek Hill with speed, or elite route runner, or also elite athleticism, more than likely you might not get the ball because you're getting double teamed. You know what I mean? So you got to either be able to out jump somebody or out route run or out run them with speed, 2 people all the time. So, and then I got to hope too that your quarterback, gives you attempts, gives you targets, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, with Davante Adams, we know he route runs. That's his biggest thing. He can route run. So 2 people could get juked out their shoes because of his route running. He's probably not going to beat them with speed, but at least he can get open because his route running. And then the same thing with Jefferson. The only thing is Jefferson actually has a little bit of speed too to it. So he does that. Debo has a little bit of speed. His route run is not really amazing, but his speed is what it is. He's super strong and he runs really good, when he runs his routes. So Chase got great route running. Keenan Allen, great route runner. Speed is not there, but he also has height. So he can get up if he has to, That's what I'm saying. Like Tyreek Hill, route runner, speed. I mean, goodness gracious, he even jumps. Like he uses athleticism because he has strength. So that's what I'm saying. Like I like to look for those things, and these receivers right here all hit on those. Mike Williams, not a great route runner. Speed is okay, but his athleticism. So that's when, like I say, like those 3 things I'm looking for in these receivers, before I pick a receiver. And then the last thing is snap count, like how often are they out on the field? Because sometimes you're going to have to pick, a lower price receiver down here. Like sometimes in your stacks, you're going to want to pick, the 3rd receiver or something like that. But you're going to want to know how often are they all on the field. Like if it says this receiver, like let's see, who's a 3rd receiver now going to a team. I could say Claypool. It's probably the third wideout, but also it could be. Let me see. Let me get over to that game real quick. Pittsburgh right here. Could be Pickens. He could be the third receiver. So I would like to know his snap count. Like it's gonna take about 3 weeks to really probably get that info. But when that info is available to us, like I would love to know that, because then I'm definitely taking Johnson, because I know his targets was crazy, 10, 10, 15, 9. And then it's like, if I figured out that Pickens is on the field near as much as Johnson and gets as a third receiver, you're probably not going to get as many as 8 targets. But if you're getting about 5 to 6 or 7 or something around there, like, yeah, I'm gonna want to stack him then, with the quarterback, if it's Trubisky or Pickett. Like, so that's what I would look for in a low price receiver, like, because most of the time it's not going to be as easy, because they're not going to be the number one targeted person. But if their snap count is that they're out there all the time, as much as maybe the number one, then they get an opportunity about 5 to 6 times, then I'm definitely probably taking them, like I said. But the thing I like to know, like I said, number 2 though, about where do they allow these receivers to move around, because now that defense now requires, like I said, they doubling on the out wide, and out left wide, too as well. I need to know, does that receiver move around? Because sometimes, you talking about like a team like the Rams, of course, like a team like them, they're gonna leave maybe one-on-one with Ramsey, cornerback, and he likes to usually, I think, line up on the right side. So like, I'm gonna know right there off the back that if McLaurin or Davante Adams, Jefferson, if they only line up right, that quarterback probably not going to them, as much. Or even if they do go to them a lot, he might not, catch a lot today. So like, I really like to know that the receiver will move around. Like, I like to know the offensive scheme, like I said. So that goes in an offensive scheme, like I always look for. So if Davante Adams, I see he moves around, he goes to the left side, he might even move into the slot, then I'm picking Davante Adams even against the Rams. Like, because I know his targets, like I said, that's the first box we're looking at, and he checks that box. But then it's like, okay, does he move around? Yes, he does. Okay, so he'll move to the left. He might move inside and play the slot. They're going to find ways to get him the ball. That's the offensive scheme. That's what I'm saying. Certain teams do not move people around. Like, I know, let me see. They don't have him on the slate, I think, because he's suspended. But let's see. Arizona. Okay, Hopkins. Hopkins usually plays only left side of the field. So, like, when I looked at their offensive scheme, I watched them all last year when he was healthy and was out there playing. He lines up left and he stays left. So if there was, like I said, if the Rams did have Jalen Ramsey line up left all the time instead of right, then I'm not picking Hopkins that game. I'm definitely going to take Marquise Brown, because I know he'll move around. He probably is going to play the slot though this year, but he might move in and out, from inside to the slot and then out right to the left, to the right side of the field, and replacing AJ Green, and they might put more in or something like that. I'm gonna want Marquise Brown in, because I know he can move around, over taking Hopkins. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I mean about offensive scheme, and making sure it benefits them, and making sure that receiver is able to how to move in or out, or also route run, amazing, or have speed or athleticism. Like, you have to have those 3 things before I'm picking, let me get off here. But that will, like I'm saying, that will help y'all be able to stack people, because certain teams, like, let me see, I'll tell you, like, we're going to go through. It's a lot of teams. It's actually a lot of teams now, because there's so much movement that has happened over the offseason. So with receivers, like, we look at Davante Adams. You got Davante Adams, and now you got Renfrow. They both could move in or out, even though Renfrow was mostly in the slot, but he route runs really good, and they can move him in or out with Adams to be lining out, wide right or wide left, with Adams playing the inside into the slot. And that could have both of them going off, because they can go either way. They can mismatch people with the cornerbacks, or they can mismatch with a linebacker, maybe because he's playing inside this time, and they have 2 receivers that can actually route run. Another team, Jefferson, Minnesota Vikings. They got Jefferson, they got Thielen. Jefferson started off in the slot, when he first came his rookie year, and now he plays out wide, but he's such a great route runner. He can move in or out. And so, like I said, it benefits, like especially in a game like this with Green Bay having 3 elite cornerbacks, maybe they can mismatch though and finally get, the cornerback in the inside, or cornerback plays out, that's supposed to be playing inside could play out wide or something, and they end up mismatching and getting a linebacker on one of them. And so Jefferson and Thielen could still do good in this game because of that. Samuel mostly only plays slot. You see, so if Chicago is really good they had a good slot cornerback and their linebackers are really good, then I wouldn't be taking Samuel because he doesn't line out wide. I would rather have Ayuk. Like Ayuk, we know Ayuk plays out wide, so I would take Ayuk instead in that situation. But I don't know for sure if Chicago was bad against the slot. But if I did know that and it was horrible, and I'm watching back to back, Cooper Kupps and who else is it? AJ Brown, since he plays a slot, if they went back to back for 30 or 25 fantasy points, and then I know they got Deebo Samuel next, I'm taking Deebo. Because the offensive scheme, we know they're going to try to get Deebo the ball for San Francisco, and we know he only plays in the slot. So you got to make sure you're paying attention, like I said, to that, because certain teams, like I said, these numbers over here, these high 27 numbers right here for Jacksonville. Jacksonville could just be horrible against a slot receiver, and they give up 27, ranked fantasy points for receivers that are always only in the slot. But you won't know that just looking at this. You'll just think, oh, they bad against receivers. You know what I mean? And you got to make sure, because McLaurin, last year, I was so pissed that Washington never put McLaurin in the slot. Like, most defense now give up the slot. They're going to give up the first 5 yards. They give up like the 15 in the middle and stuff like that. So it would have benefited more if McLaurin would have lined up in the slot. McLaurin's numbers weren't really good. Like, you look at these fantasy points, 13, 13, 7, 7, 5, 9, 24, 28. The 28 and the 24s and stuff like that, like, were probably teams that not really good out wide. Like Green Bay, Jair got hurt so early. So we had a rookie lined out on the number one receiver, so I'm pretty sure he caught on the rookie. You know what I mean? Like, or they moved him, like he moves from left to right. He doesn't move inside. That's the thing. So they could have put him on another corner. Like Kevin King was not good for us. So they could have moved him left, and then boom, I know he's going to get off because he's going to move to the left side and go against Kevin King a lot and not against Eric Stokes, So that's what I'm saying. You want to make sure you're paying attention to the receivers that you taken in your stacks and make sure that it's a receiver that can move around, because that's going to help you. Like I said, teams that have two receivers that can route run really amazingly and move in or out, those are the teams that you want to stack. Like I said, so the Vegas with the Raiders, they got two. Minnesota has two. Samuel, like I said, he's only inside, so I wouldn't always stack them. Plus, they got a quarterback that we don't know yet if he's going to throw like that. Chase, you got Chase and Higgins and Boyd. But Chase for sure moves. He can move in or out if you wanted him to. But he usually goes right to left, and then Higgins goes right to left. So they move them around so you can get mismatches because of that. And you can also just take Boyd with one of them, period, because they move left or right. You got Keenan Allen and who else is it? Oh, my bad. Mike Williams right here. Mike Williams usually only lines up wide. So it's usually hard to stack both of these two because a team has to be really sorry against wideouts and slots. And then you can say, okay, I'm taking both of these two, which I think the Raiders were like that bad last year. But that was last year. Their defense kind of got a little bit better, at least with the pass rushing addition that they have now. And they have a better coach from the New England coach, Josh McDaniels. So I don't know for sure if they'll be that bad. They was playing man, and most teams weren't playing man no more. But last year, definitely, you could have stacked both of these two easily. Tyreek Hill with going against New England, I wouldn't want him against New England. But another team, oh my God, like Tyreek with Waddle. I mean, first of all, Waddle played only slot last year. But the thing is, Tyreek been playing only slot for the last 3 years. But the thing is, Tyreek has elite speed. Plus, he can move in or out. He route runs really good. Waddle has elite speed and could probably move in or out. Like, for real, he route runs really good, so I don't see why he couldn't. This is a great stackable team right here because they have those two receivers, like I'm saying. McLaurin, now that they have Jahan Dotson and they have Curtis Samuel, we have to see, like, because McLaurin, like I said, I don't know why they didn't move him inside because his rookie year, he played slot. So we know he can do it. So definitely him, Jahan Dotson, or Curtis Samuel, great team to be stacking because of those receivers can move in or out. And they can exploit teams that, aren't good against the slot only. And you can still take a wide out, is what I'm saying. Because if he's going to move in or out, you can still have both the slot and him. You can have Curtis Samuel and McLaurin. AJ Brown's, he's usually only in the slot. I never really seen him line up wide, really, or but he definitely, I'm sure, can do it. But he's a great slot receiver. So if Detroit is horrible in the slot, you taking AJ Brown for sure. And plus, now that they got DeVonta Smith, which I know he's a good route runner, and he could probably move in or out with AJ Brown. So they're going to cause a lot of mismatches. So definitely, Philly's going to be a team that you can pick. We already went over Waddle. Let me see. Brandon Cooks against Houston. They don't really have anybody over here like in Houston, and their quarterback is iffy. But let me see. Oh yeah, Mechie it was crazy. I forgot Mechie, what happened to him. So yeah, they would have probably had a nice little unit here with Cooks and Mechie. But now that he's out, Nick Collins is just a straight wideout. So it's not, and then they don't even move Brandon Cooks in and out like they should. I really feel like he's a good enough route running receiver that he could move in and out. But so I would probably stay away from them because of that until maybe Mechie, comes back or something. Marquise Brown, definitely I would be taking him just because he has two wide outs that are just going to take away the attention from him if he's going to play in the slot, which I think he's going to play the slot because he's a great route runner. And you talking about AJ Green and Hopkins. When Hopkins gets back, they're going to clear the way for him in the middle of the field, coming across, the 5 yard, the 15, whatever, or going even deep down the field. They're going to clear it out for him. And then besides him, I would want them Zach Ertz or something like that, or maybe they running back. And that would be the stack I would do with them. Amon St. Brown, when they get Jameson Williams, this stack right here, oh my God, because this dude can route run. He has crazy speed too. So Amon St. Brown, Jameson Williams will be a good stack of receivers to take when they get the right matchup. Like Philly, this would have been a great game too if they would have had both of them healthy. I already said it, T. Higgins and the Moore and Boyd. I mean, not Boyd, Chase, my bad. Chase and Boyd. And then DJ Moore right here with, I don't know, DJ Moore is good. That's not my problem. The only thing is, let me see, Carolina. Is it T Marshall? Yeah. He got a lot to prove, man. Like I didn't see nothing from him last year. I know his targets was bad. Like, look, they was not really giving him opportunities. But I could have swore he was a first round pick. Or I know he was a pretty high pick for them and he disappointed. Like, but could have been just because he didn't get the target. So I didn't get to see enough to know if he's a great route runner or can move in or out. I do know DJ Moore is a great route runner and only plays slot though most of the time. Robbie is not a great route runner. He's just speedy though, dude. So depends on, like I said, the teams that they're going against. Like Cleveland's a really good defense. They got a good cornerback out wide with Ward. So I would think Robbie would be shut down. And I don't know how bad they were against the slot. I don't think this would be a game I would be stacking on. Like if I knew they were just only bad against the slot, I would never pick Robbie Anderson because he doesn't move in or out. Like I said, I don't know about Marshall yet if he can move in or out. I just know DJ Moore plays a slot most of the whole game, so he would be the only receiver I would want. Then let's see. Let's get off of them real quick. And let me see who else I would like. Once I figure out who Pittsburgh's quarterback is going to be for the season, this is going to be a great team because now that they got Johnson with what's his name? I keep forgetting his boy name. Oh, Pickens. Yeah, George Pickens, man. Like route runner, has height, speed, I think too as well. But these two route runners and then Claypool trying to take the top off of defenses and stuff like that, and plus he has height. Oh my God, yeah. This stack right here is gonna be nice. Like picking this stack when they have the right matchup, which Cincinnati should be a great matchup, matter of fact, too. So, yeah, I would definitely have these receivers because I know they can move them in or out. They can route run any route on the tree. I'm picking them for sure. Let's see. The lowest team I can find that has two. It's probably going to be the Saints. Y'all. Like, I definitely think the Saints will be my team this year that I'll be stacking because you talking about now they have, let's go back. Jarvis, oh my God. Yeah. Jarvis, man, Chris Olave, and Michael Thomas. These are all route running receivers, even though everybody called Michael Thomas slant boy, but I mean, he gets open and that's all that really matters. Like he can run the routes. He's not going to go deep down the field, but you got Jarvis and now you got Chris Olave to do that part. Definitely I'll be stacking this team up. Because now I think you can move in or out with Chris Olave. Plus, he can go deep down the field, but you can move in or out with Landry or Chris Olave right here. You can even put Michael Thomas out wide if you want to. just to, draw the attention to double team him and just to get these two open. So I would definitely look at stacking these two since I know they can move in or out. Check all three of the boxes right here, man. Like these two right here, receivers. So that's what I like to do. Like I said, when I'm looking for my receiver picks like that, for three things again, like I said, we're looking at targets. So I know that Saints one, we have to wait to see how many targets Chris Olave is going to get and what type of targets he's going to get. But and Jarvis as well, since they're on a new team now. But then, like I said, after that, do they move in or out? Do they line up left or right? Can they move around? Like that's the number 2 thing we look for. Number 3 is the snap count. Are they out on the field? As well. Like because like a situation like the Arizona Cardinals, only because of the game with Hopkins being out, since he's out, Rondale Moore is in play now. His targets weren't really high last year. 6, 11, 5, 4, but look at these 3s, 4s. Those are little, but like these 6s and stuff like that, these 8s, that's what I'm looking for a third receiver. Like if I want to stack a third receiver, I'm looking for these about 6 targets and stuff like that. Because they're not going to be in these 11s like this all the time. They're more than likely going to have 5 to 6 targets. But his speed and stuff like that, he can take this to the house, and get you a 60-yard touchdown or something like that and make up the cost, make up the price right here. $4,000 is too cheap anyways, especially since, like I said, there is no Hopkins and he should have a lot of targets. And I know he has speed. I think he can kind of route run. So you talking about him and Marquise Brown could end up moving in or out, like I said. And that's what I like to look for. Can you move around so that way they can get the mismatches for the offensive scheme, like I said. That's what you're looking for, the targets and then the snap count. Look for those 3 things. I'll guarantee y'all have a winning lineup. Guarantee you'll be picking the best receivers that you need for the slates to win every week. Just look for those 3 things, I'll tell you. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope it really helps y'all get to winning that money this year. Thank you for all the likes and the views for the last few videos. Hope we get a lot of likes for this one. It's your boy JAYSTAR, and I'm out. Peace.